Okay. There we go. Let's get it. Peace, peace, peace. They ain't let me share it on my TikTok friend. Okay. With my moderators. Okay. Yeah. We in the building. There she goes. What's going on with you? Let me let y'all see that. Yeah, we're gonna be touching on some of all that. What did it do, Brother Yusuf? The show. You see, I'm gonna be touching on, the word pagan. Because how people be spooked. They be spookified about words. Basically we call them trigger words. So we got a lot of people that's spooked out about these trigger words. So a word like pagan is getting a lot of flack from the people, Yeah. So a pagan is really just a country dweller. When you look up, greeting sister, greeting. When you look up pagan, it's gonna say a villager, a country dweller. So a pagan is a villager or a country dweller. Then they'll tell you in Christianized Latin, it became, heathen. A pagan became to mean a heathen. But a heathen is a patch of land. It's a stretch of land. So you're dealing with country. Like I said, a pagan is a country dweller. Heathen is, a heath is a mound. Aren't we mound builders? Come on. So, like I always say, our ancestors were basically classical heathens. In the truest sense of the word. Not in this modern sense of any of these words. I'll let y'all see that though. But yeah. Our ancestors would have been considered heathens because they were country dwellers, farmers. If you're a farmer, this makes you a pagan. Like all of that shepherd talk. Like all your Abrahams and all of them were shepherds. That made them pagans. If you're into the Old Testament, you considered a pagan. If you're not into the New Testament, then you're not exempt from being what they call a pagan. So it's not a bad word. And I always say I'm a proud pagan. I know I don't sit well with people because they stuck on these words. It's trigger words. So many words are trigger words. Jesus can be a trigger word. You can't school nobody about Jesus because they take it a little too personal. So a person could literally live in the country and a person could literally live in the country and would take it as an offense to be called a heathen or a pagan when literally that's what the word means. Like a villager, right? A villager is the root word, or villa is the root word for a villain. So they called villagers, if you're a villager, you are also called a villain. So the same people called these country dwellers pagans and made it a bad sense of the word. Even villain wasn't a bad word. It was not. Yep. So we got villains, pagans, and heathens. Mm. And we looking at it in a illogical sense. There's no logic. There's no logic in demonizing. There's no logic in demonizing a villain because he's a villager. There's no logic in demonizing a pagan because they're a country dweller or a heathen for the same exact reason. You know, it's like trying to force us all to be in the city. You know, it's like, you know how city people look down on country people, country folk. Yeah, that same expression is in religion or in dogma, in the dogma that we call religion. You know, people being fed by the mouths of the shepherd, but the shepherds are very dumb. They're very dumb. Yep. Like even when I see this right here, you know, philosophy from Egypt. You know, the word myrrh and rick, right? Which is honestly, it's the word Riki. It's the same word Riki. It just doesn't have the I at the end. But obviously it's the same word. So, myrrh is meaning love. Or, you know, it's amor. That's why we say amor. Amor or amore means love. Let me see. Can we get... Let me see. They don't want my finger to show up. They don't want me to point it out. But yep. Myrrh. So, myrrh or more means love. And they saying Murek or Moriki, Muriki is a lover of wisdom. So the Riki obviously means wisdom. Because the myrrh means love. You know, the more means love. This is where we get the word amor. You know? So, you know, amorous or amorous. All of these words, you know, mean love because of the more or the myrrh. So the same thing goes for the word America. You know, you got the myrrh right there. You got the more right in the word America. You know. So just like the word Riki, you put the I at the end of this Riki. Or, you know, you put the A at the end, you got Rika. Rika. So even an American would be a lover of wisdom. Honestly. Yeah. So, it is what it is. What's going on with y'all? I know there's at least two real ones out there. The numbers keep going up and down, but I know the two realest ones in the building. You know, but I appreciate all of y'all though. Everybody who stopped through. And oh yeah, I appreciate you tapping that screen. I gotta appreciate that. You know that should help the algorithm, but you know how they is. I'm already shadow banned. That's why I changed that to my name on YouTube, shadow banned, because I'm used to this. I'm used to getting banned. Sad. Yep. And I had the screenshot for Pagan. Let me see if I can get that. Yeah, I might not got it on. I don't think I got it on this phone. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, we got Ezekiel's will, which is obviously the zodiac. Mm. Ezekiel's will. I guess they say we using TikTok against them. You know, we bringing the knowledge, so we using TikTok against them. That's what it is. So this is literally the biblical will of Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel's will. Mm. And people will tell you the Bible is not astrotheology. It's definitely astrotheology. Yep. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what we got. I just kind of like this image too. You know. Yeah. You can see the native down there at the bottom. What? They banned? So they banned everybody who came on there last night? Well, yeah, you probably banned from multi-guest, like me. I can go live, but I can't do multi-guest. I can't go multi-guest on nobody's shit. Let me see who else out there live. I might be able to host with them. But ain't none of my homies out there. Nope, not them. No, not one of my friends. I don't have one friend that's live. Let's see. Brother talking about music. Let's see if somebody got some knowledge. Let's see what they talking about. Smart hope. Let's see how smart the Hawaiian is. Probably ain't gonna connect. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't trying to do live matches. They on that lame shit. But yeah. If somebody know my boy Young CEO backup page, let me know what it is, or tag him or anything. The brother Young CEO took his whole channel down. That shit crazy. Let me see. Let me see what the brother. Oh, nah, them brothers scared. Yeah, I ain't got no friends live. They blocking all us. Okay, we got Miss B in the building. What's going on, goddess? Yeah, they want everybody to twerk. Hey, well, hey Yusuf, if you go live, I can we can host, we can we can co-host, but we can't multi-guest. So if you go live, I can connect them. That's the only way we'll be able to build. Oh, he got a backup? Yeah. Go ahead and tag him or send me the backup. Yeah, all that. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, we was able to connect. Yeah,
Yeah, we fighting this system, man. You know how.
I was able to co-host and invite you in.
Yep. That's
But yeah, I
wild,
had a
man.
complete block. I wasn't able to invite guests or anything. I wasn't able to jump on anyone else's demo.
Who is this trying to? Let me see what they talking about. They might be tripping. They said they want to join our live. I don't know what happened. They ain't doing it. You still there, brother? I don't know what just happened. What that was. Brother Yusuf, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just messing with these back pictures, so I can mess with my green screen and things. I ain't think I'd be
Mm-hmm.
able to get on live right now, believe it or not. I'm supposed to be on band to the
Yeah.
21st.
Yeah, me too. I ain't gonna like TikTok. I see that. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere else we wouldn't be able to hit the like button. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be able to do nothing. It's crazy. I ain't gonna lie, like that shit was so wild. Yesterday, I'm looking at every time I'm looking at somebody, like you, like did you report me? As soon as I look at them, they get me. I'm like, hold on. Then I look at him like, okay, it wasn't that person. Who is it? It was that person. Nope, they got reported.
Yeah, I think
It
I
it,
think
it
it
was
was
him. It
person.
was
I was like person number 7 to get kicked out, and I'm more than sure it was a vaccine person. You know what I'm saying? That got me.
thank you.
I got
That's
hit
what
with
I'm saying. That's what I
misinformation.
say.
I got the misinformation
But
hit, not the hate speech hit. So that makes me think COVID bull.
I can't find the brother.
But like you said, all of the guys got banned. Nobody can go live right now.
No, man.
Everybody dropping knowledge and jewels. They blocked out.
They hating hard. Like they don't even like that part. They probably don't like that background I got right there. And I ain't even, I ain't religious, but I likes that. I likes that right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that whole
Shoot,
selection of
hey,
shirts. They got a whole wardrobe. Yo, they hot with their artwork.
yeah, for real. Gotta respect it. It's like the Nuwabians. I be like, man, whoever making the Nuwabians threads, man, I respect them. You feel me? Because they doing it right. I ain't lying. They be clean with that black and gold on. You know what I mean? But I feel like everybody got something to bring to the table. It's just too much division. Like all the groups supposed to honor each other. You know what I mean? That's if they bringing anything.
I be saying that all the time too. That's why I got this background up right now. Right now, that
Mhm.
background comes from the Dictionary of Races or the Black and Indian Races,
Mhm.
1844. and it's showing a correlation between the Indian languages and Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew, and it's showing
Mm.
how they were identical. So the Native American Indians or the indigenous people in Americas already spoke a Hebrew Arabic language, such as Muskegee and other, dialects. They were already Phoenician based.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's a way to tie in is, hey, some of these Aboriginals or some of these indigenous Americans, they were Israelite or had a Judaism, Jewish background, and they had a Moorish background. So this is evidence that ties in the Moors, the Israelites, and the indigenous people all as one group.
Salam, bro. Yeah, that's real. Like,
So
like,
this brings
I wish I
credence
was
to
on my other phone.
many of the Cherokees had to been Jews and Moors because it's within their traditions. They got a Sabbath, they cover their women, they believe in one God. Many of the Choctaw were Jews and Israelite descent. They wear the fringes, they had a Sabbath. It was in their regular traditions before Columbus came through.
Yeah, the Cherokee are Canaanites. You feel me? They have the same oral tradition story as the Canaanite story. You know,
And
like they
they
speak.
haplogroups, new haplo evidence says that they got haplogroup U, haplogroup J, and haplogroup T of that order, some of that order. But that'd be the Middle East, Egypt, the Middle East, North Africa. So Cherokee also had North African, Middle Eastern haplogroups in some of the Cherokee bones, the pre-Columbus Cherokee bones.
Hmm.
But when they
Hmm.
try to send people off by telling you haplo J and haplo U to try to say they was Arabian, Middle Eastern, Phoenician, but they doing everything in their power to dodge out African. So you telling me Eastern Asians were here? You're telling me Western Asians were here? You're telling me Western Eurasians and Middle Easterners were here, but y'all still denying the fact Africans were here? Say the whole damn
Exactly.
planet was here, except dark people, I guess, huh?
Uh,
Y'all telling me Vikings were here? Look, look, look.
like watch this. Like they'll tell you that the hominid, they'll say the hominid was around at least 2 million years ago, right? This this Homo erectus hominid of a man, that means he stands upright, were been on the planet for 2 million years. You know what I mean? And then they want to say, yeah, but Homo sapien came out of
Well,
Africa.
I got the book right here called Forbidden Archaeology. I don't know if y'all can see my screen. This book
Yeah,
right here
they see your
says
screen.
humans,
Yeah, they see your screen.
Homo sapiens are over 1 million years old. Let this book tell it. And there's been a big cover up in human beginnings in the chronology of things. It even speaks on
Mhm.
how out of Africa was a scam also. They used chimpanzee bones and whatnot to try to place human origins in Africa. But according to these boys, to it, Cremio and Thompson, oh yeah, humanity is 1 million years old. The way we are today, we were 1 million years ago.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So everything we hearing about this 100,000 year, 200,000 year timeline is a sham. We're 1 million years old, 1 million plus. The L3, or is like one of the brothers in America, his blood tested to be 300,000 years old. Hey, that's 100,000 years older than they even thought humans or Homo sapiens were. He just proves we're
Yeah,
100,000 years
yeah. You
older.
talking about the
But
you talking about the South
yeah,
Carolina?
yeah, the brother from South Carolina with the A00 or whatever haplogroup.
Hmm.
But yeah, this book says we're millions of years old. And I got another one. My bookshelf broke on me, so I've been having to rearrange things. But
Yeah, matter of fact, his name Albert Perry. Albert Perry from South Carolina.
this book has a different origin story also. Hey, we older than what common science is telling us, according to this book also. So I have two books here saying between forbidden archaeology and the secret history of the world, mankind is a lot older than what mankind currently thinks. And you was killing me because you was talking about the word pagan, and ironically, I never looked up the word pagan, bro. I just assumed I knew
Yep,
what it meant, right?
yep, 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 yep.
I'm
Yeah, I know
finna look
something
up
for real.
pagan, and I'm finna check out the etymology with it too. I got an
Yes, sir.
1828 on deck. But
Stop
yeah,
part.
I never looked up pagan, bro. And what's crazy is on the papal bull, it specifically says, put all Muslims, Saracens, and pagans into perpetual slavery. You feel me?
Come on,
So it's like, yeah,
come on.
we might do want to know the
Yep.
technical definition of these three words in particular, which I know what
Mm-hmm.
Muslim mean, and I have a
Yeah,
few definitions for Saracens, but I never looked up pagan.
yeah. Saracens are Moors.
Yeah, I'm already
You
knowing sons
know.
of Sarah. Saracens are
Yeah,
Israelites.
yeah,
They
yeah.
just try to make you think it's the Mariners and the Italians, but they were really Israelites, the sons of Sarah.
Mm. Yeah, considered magician.
Hey, you
You
was
know.
dead on point. Pagan, a heathen, backwards, pertaining to the worship of false gods, heathenish.
Well, yeah, that's more like modern definition when they talk about the gods and all that, because it's just a
Yeah.
country dweller. 'Cause when you look up heathen. Other
Hold
than
on, I
the
got it right here. The
to the
very first
Latin.
definition, I had to go back one, bro. It says pagan, noun from Latin, paganus, a peasant or a countryman from a village.
Mm-hmm.
I never once
Exactly.
looked that up, but yeah, I see it with my own eyes now. I can verify that now. I
Yeah,
did not know
guaranteed.
that.
Guaranteed.
You just put me on something new, brother.
Yep. So, they villainize now people. Like I say, villain mean, a villain. So demonizing now people. But even coming from Damon means a genius. It means supernatural. So I'm trying to think like, they evil like evil, so it don't mean bad. I'm trying to give it a word. Like Christian is the worst word almost. You know what I mean? Christian is about the worst word I can pick up because witch ain't a bad word. You know what I mean? Uh, like if anything, word bad is bad. You know how like, we grew up,
And
our
yes,
grandma tell us, don't call those children bad. They're not bad. They're mischievous because the word bad means a hermaphrodite. It means a womanish man. So Michael Jackson knew exactly what he's saying when he said, "I'm bad, I'm bad, you know it." Huh? It means a womanish
hmm
man.
yeah, I'm still astounded by this pagan. I'm reading like all the definitions of pagan. A
Yep,
heathen,
yep.
a Gentile, an idolater, a worshiper of false gods. This word originally came and was applied to the inhabitants of a country who refused to accept Christianity. This is right there in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
it
sir.
didn't apply to the Mohammedans or the Muslims or the Arabians, though. It's an equivalent to
Mm.
them saying kafir. And it's specifically saying that here also. I know my screen kind of small, and y'all probably half the time I try to show it blurs when I'm on live. You know what I mean?
It's clear now. Yes, clear now. Who on the first obligation of the Christian religion adhered to the worship of false gods or refused to receive Christianity. So basically, even if they didn't have false gods, they might have just refused Christianity. Is what they say. Like, that's a bad thing. You're a pagan.
Yep,
You
just for
know.
refusing Christianity, you
Yeah.
was pagan.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it in my etymology book. Let's
Like I
find the
say, even
origin of this
into a
word.
country dweller. I, I'm trying to country dweller again. You know what I mean? For real. A
Pagan meant
villager.
villager.
Like, they say
Yeah,
it takes a
pagan
village
turned,
to
the
raise
first
a child.
definition is villager.
Raise one.
Let's see if it's in this one.
Yes, sir. Give him that pagan.
Almost there. See if we got you on this deck. Page, pageant. Nah, pagan's not in this etymology book. All right. Let's see if it's in my dictionary of word origins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stay flip flopping. I got multiple encyclopedias and thesauruses, but I like to go to the
Oh,
older books before it was legal to read. You feel?
damn right. You know,
Here you go, man.
something, like the Oxford.
Oh yeah, I got a few Oxfords in here.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, your last, you got a great collection.
Yeah, what really opened me up in here was the definition of Negro, because it said if you want to look up a Negro, look up denigrate, and when you look up the word denigrate, it says to denigger, to make black, to blacken. So
See,
D
like
means to take away, and nigger means God or king.
with all
So
these words, we got to know where letters are interchangeable. Like we all
yeah,
know
the
that vowels.
interchangeable letters.
Yeah, we all know vowels are interchangeable, but many of what we call in consonants are interchangeable. You feel me? Like with that G can be replaced with the C, and the C just replaces the letter K. You feel me?
All
And
right, let me
you'll
try
even
to
see the
read
letter
this out.
S.
I got pagan in his word origins in front of me. Let me read
Yes,
it
sir.
out. The, the history of pagan is a bizarre series of semantic twists and turns that take a turn ultimately to the Latin pagus, the source of English peasant. This originally meant something stuck in the ground as a landmark. It came from the base peg or pog to fix, which also produced the English page, pale, stake, and pole stick, and is closely related to pact and peace. It was extended metaphorically to a country area, village, and the noun paganus, which was derived from it, denoting country dweller. But then it its turn became to shift semantically, first to civilian, and then, based on early Christian notions that all members of the church were soldiers of Christ, to heathen.
Exactly. Tell me I ain't hit it on the head. I'm pretty much,
You hit it
you
dead
know what
on
I'm
the
saying?
head. As I'm reading it,
Confirmation.
it's like, man, it's almost verbatim how you said it.
Yep, exactly.
It's almost
Exactly.
verbatim how you said it. And I never once looked at that definition, believe it or not.
Yes, sir.
You just opened me up to pagan means village, villager, peace, peaceful. It just got transformed behind Christianity to mean heathen.
Only, only in
Yeah,
Latin, Christianized Latin.
I'm gonna
Yep,
highlight that, post that in the future. Keep that in the records.
for real, for real.
That's a
Yeah, I ain't gonna
definite.
lie, cause like I said, I was just talking to my a brother in India. I was just talking to him earlier, and
Got that on to the head too.
we talking about all religions are remixed from the original. You know what I'm saying? They're a remix, right?
Well, I'll put a
So
dead
so
on these right here.
Christianity is a remix of Judaism. You know what I
All
mean?
of it is a remix to the Hermetic principles.
Yeah.
All of it is a remix to the Hermetic principles. Everything is a remix of what came out of Kemet and before Kemet. The 42 laws of Ma'at, the as above, so below, the balance, the polarization, the pendulum effect.
hmm Yeah.
It,
Yeah. That's why I
everything
say,
is a remix of this over the last
all these different
6,000
gods are,
years.
all these different gods and all these different religions are multi.
Islam and
It's
Muhammad.
Tahuti worship. You know that that scribe. You feel me? Like any god of wisdom is Tahuti. You feel me? And that's in all these different cultures. Whether it be Hermes that you was just showing the Hermetic, the Hermetica. You feel me? Hermes
Hermetic principles.
Trismegistus.
Yeah, I can't say
Trismegistus
that either.
meaning
Try me guess this. Yeah, I don't know how to
yeah,
say that.
thrice majestic. Yeah, thrice majestic. He was, born three times great. You feel me? Every time he was born with all his memory. You feel me? So Hermes, Quetzalcoatl, It's all it Buddha, all of these are Tahuti. You feel me? Kokukan. And when you see Buddha, the original Black Buddha, is one of the incarnations of Vishnu. So that would make Tahuti Vishnu. And Vishnu has many avatars. Like there's no other gods that have avatars except for Tahuti and Vishnu. And they're the same person. So there's no other gods that has avatars. But Tahuti and us, God on earth.
Hmm. I've been working on that. Like I'm catching that Moses of the Bible might be Tutmosis first, second, and the third put together.
Yeah, he's definitely the first. But like you
Yeah,
saying, the
Moses
story
is
could
Tutmosis,
be
or a
elongated
combo
to
of the
cover all of
Tutmosis.
this. You're right. Good, because the true book of Moses is larger than the Bible itself. It's way, way larger than 7 times larger than the Bible. And the Bible is 66 books. So this one book of books of Moses is way larger than the Bible. They just compacted it down and gave people a sample size. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Then man, like it's many, many holy books or sacred books that if people were really into the Bible, they should be studying all of these sacred books, all of these holy books. If they really were, into God. You feel me? So I got led down this road by not being a hypocrite. You feel me? It led me to the wisdom. You feel me?
I'm
If these
hearing
people are hypocrites, they never go past first grade. They never graduate.
you breaking up.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, you was
Mic
breaking
check,
in and
mic
out.
check. It
Sounding
still
clearer
sound like
now.
it's chopping up.
Yeah, it was. That's what I
Can
was
you hear
saying.
me
You was
now?
chopping up at first.
Yeah, they don't want that wisdom getting out of them. And they know how it come. And I be of my own volition. You know what I mean? So they be like, I can't hit rewind. And I'd be like, damn, I can't hit rewind. You know. But
For real, for real.
yeah, man, I'm getting a download right now. So how can I rewind it? You know what I mean? It's fresh to me. Unless sometimes people could bring you back with certain things you said, but right now, I don't know. I be smoking so much. My mind is fleeing me right this moment. Now, me and my brother should
Yeah.
do something. Like, hey, Yusuf, is you on you?
YouTube? Nah, I ain't got my own channel or nothing like that. I mean, I navigate it every now and then. Got a couple of guys I like
Yeah,
watching.
yeah. I'm gonna be on you. Like, who you
I
like
done jumped
watching
on a
on there?
couple of platforms here and there.
I
You
put on.
feel me?
Like who you like watching on YouTube? I probably know him.
111 Truth, Ab TV, Aboriginal Power, Sabir Bay.
I know your voice. I know your voice. I know your voice. Me and you done been on the same show for Gary. I'm
Oh
telling you,
yeah,
I know your voice.
everybody
I
I
don't know
just
who.
named, I literally been on the platform. You might have even seen my face on the shows.
Yeah. Me too. That's what I'm saying. I definitely been to all of them. Like, when as soon as I say I'm a Moor, that's normally a problem with most people. You know what I mean? Hey,
Yeah, I
but I
get
bring
mad
my
heat behind
sword, man.
saying I'm a Moor. And you know me, I'm Chicago, so
Who-
I was an underground bookstore with Sabir Bay, with Kush Day, the whole
Yeah,
nine. You feel?
yeah, yeah. You know all about the real Moorish Americans. You know what I'm saying? Moorish Science Temple. You know all that. You right there in Chicago.
Yeah, Moore Science Temple #1 in Chicago, and then shit, dude, number 20, Temple
Yeah.
number 25 right down the street from it.
Come on now.
I, I'm not
That's what's up.
MSTA, but I do, politic with the brethren.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm not. I'm not against it. If I can get the right temple, but I ain't trying to link up with no. You know what I'm saying? No good people, man, for real.
For
But not to
real,
say
for
that's
real.
about all my more. We just know all the temples ain't good. It's just like anywhere, any organizations. Like You know, even the people in church, they know every church ain't good. You feel me? The congregation ain't good. The
Yeah,
congregation ain't good. The church is no good. You know, this
exactly.
temple.
And from what I could see, each
Yep.
temple kind of specialized in a different direction. And besides each temple having different specialties, it's like you said, the congregation, the members of the temple. So, a lot of
Hmm.
our Moorish brethren and sister, they don't like seeing anything but dark. And I come from a multi-breed family, multi-ethnic, me, my children, my grandparents, you feel? So that environment,
I'm kind of like that. We can't be because Noble Drew Ali, he brought to light that we're all Moorish. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna say I'm a Moor. Me, I know I'm a Moor, but others are Moorish, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's my brother. They're my brethren. They're Moorish. You know, I might have a half brother, but I would never call him a half brother. I'd be like, you my brother, period. And you Moorish.
exactly.
There's no way around that. You Moorish. For real. Like, I don't have half brothers and sisters. There's no such thing. But we all do have that same lineage to the point that we all are Moorish. It's only really Moors and Albions. That's all it really is. Like,
Amalgamated
and
Moors, look,
yeah,
amalgamated Moors.
everything else is an admixture of the two. That's the only thing we get races from mixing the album with the Moor. That's it.
Well, yeah, we catch so much heat the minute we say we are more, we throw this flag up, and it's like, here come the hate. We got hate from our own. We got hate from the pale skins. We got hate from the natives. Look, we got hate from the North Africans. Look,
Everybody. But they knew to it. So
everybody
it's
jump
like
out the woodworks to get at us.
they babies though, man. They just woke up during the quarantine. You know, these dudes been on the block. They've been thugging and drinking, and, just being fools more than anything. Then the quarantine forced them in the house, and they didn't have nobody to do their barbershop talk with, so it led to the internet. Huh?
Hey,
The whole Aboriginal community came up during, COVID. I don't even know if I should say
I
that
ain't
word
gonna
because
stunt. That's what put me on before this 2 years ago. Look, this COVID, this quarantine, when that
it
March
gave you that
quarantine
time.
hit, it sat me in
Hmm.
the house, and I think that's when I bought my first book. I gotta, you
What,
see my library, but I bought my
boy?
first book at the beginning of
Hey,
COVID, brother. I just started a year and
bro,
a half ago.
you's a monster.
I just woke up.
Your
I
hair's on
just woke
fire.
up during the pandemic, brother.
Damn. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You is the number one of all pandemic babies, brother. I'm gonna give you that, bro. You feel
A
me?
goon. I
You
went straight. I
and you
went
the
straight
number
to the
one
big heads,
pandemic baby,
like like Sabir Bay, Kush Day, and Taj, and I went straight to the big heads. And I'm a quick learner, but yeah,
bro,
I'm fresh off the
bro,
off the pandemic, bro.
bro. That is scary because you really like the second person I met like that. And this other guy, he done got onto the UCCs and that knowledge, and he is moving faster than I've seen people been doing it for all day.
Yeah, I'm
Like
just
we all
stepping
stand
into
on the
correction of
shoulders of,
status and everything right now. I'm just getting the confidence to walk on my own. You feel? But
dang
I'm
boy,
new to
that's
this.
amazing
I'm
though. I
not
ain't gonna
no
lie to you.
decade in. I look at every brother that say they've been doing this 10, 20 years. Like, what the fuck you been doing, my nigga?
Yeah,
I just
yeah. Real,
started last year. Quit playing with me. Y'all playing games
real.
out here.
No, watch this, bro. I know since a person like me, since we've been coming in this, because when I came in, I was definitely the young Moors. I'm one of the young Moors, right? And we've been telling them since we've been coming. We say, bro, the young Moors are coming with their eyes wide open. All the new Moors, we come with our eyes wide open. Like you ain't really even got to teach. You know what I'm saying? We coming in ready to teach a little and learn a lot for real.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I'm sucking it up like a sponge. And now I'm ready for practical application. You feel? I'm done with the
Hmm.
theoreticals. I'm getting the comprehension in, and
Yeah,
it's just I got to start going through it step by step as opposed to imagining it. You feel?
yeah, yeah.
It's
Hey,
One thing,
hey,
it's like you could read about war, then it's another thing actually being in war. You know?
hey, my sister Venus say, you know more than Rashad Jamal. And you just woke up. And I agree. I agree. I ain't lying. What you
If
was
we
on,
talking Rashad Jamal,
bro.
that brother, that spiritualist brother, I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
think he an agent. I don't know.
yeah, he an agent. See what I'm saying is you standing on your script, bro. Bro, you coming with nothing you talking about is pseudo, is what I'm saying. You feel me? You're not into the pseudo. You only into the actual factual. You feel me? The black and white, the proof. You know what I mean? Like Rashad Jamal was not into any of that. You know what I'm saying? This dude ain't bringing. He's pseudo. You feel
Like,
me?
I
He
don't
in
do
the pseudo
I don't do
science.
creation stories and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
good on that. I'm
Look,
trying to
this
get to the
dude that made
actual
up.
facts.
So watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna ask you, brother.
The
What
actual,
is
you feel?
DEA? What is DEA, brother?
Drug Enforcement
Yeah,
Agency?
exactly. That's what I told him. I told him that's the only thing the DEA is. That's why I know he the police. Cause watch this. If you try to look up DEA, they gonna say, oh, like these dudes on TikTok. They listen to Rashad Jamal. They say we don't have DNA. Black people have DEA. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So the brother young CEO had asked me one night, he said, because he felt like, I got a little knowledge. He's like, hey, he said, brother, can you explain to me what is DEA? I'm like, DEA? I say, brother, all I know about is DNA. I don't know nothing about no DEA. So kind of me feel up. I'm like, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead and research. When I research
Don't get
DA
me
versus
twisted.
DNA, you're gonna
Some of his
find nothing.
stories and theories, or is great. Some of his hypotheses are great.
Yeah,
And,
like the
it'd make
Grand
a great
Canyon leading to
movie. It'd make a
Africa.
great movie. It'd
Hey,
be a
look,
great movie
like
or a
Grand Canyon
Hollywood.
leading to Africa. That's the funniest thing he said that I kind of like. You know what I'm saying? When he said the Grand Canyon literally leads all the way Africa. Like I'm like, oh nah,
I don't know about that. I can't
Those some
verify
underground
that.
caverns, man.
That's where he lost
Bro,
me. See.
I'm just saying the fact that I know all those caverns in there that the water was supposed to travel, man
You know,
probably can travel.
when people get this,
You feel me?
playing with the Anunnaki and playing with underground taverns and hollow Earth theory and flat Earth and stuff beyond the ice wall, it's all speculation, fam. I don't.
I'm saying,
I
but
think
beneath every pyramid, there's underground, cities or underground workings all through there, like basically cities under every pyramid.
I would logically
Every
deduce
pyramid.
that, yeah, 100%. But do I know that? No. You know,
Hmm.
it's like I don't even know if DNA exists. Truth be told, and I
Thank
know it's gonna
you. I
sound
be telling
crazy,
people
but
like
question
that.
everything, fam. Question everything.
That's what I just told. I be telling people that they are like I be crazy, bro. I be telling them exactly that. I be like, bro, I don't really even know that DNA exists. You know what I'm saying? Like we basically getting a little too funky about certain stuff. Like people boxing over this information, but they can't even prove it.
Right.
You
I
know what
don't
I mean?
understand the science enough to make I'm incompetent in this field.
Yeah. It's just like I tell people, certain people understand. You have to say under. See, no other language has the word understand. Only English has that word. Every other language would tell you comprende. They mean comprehension. Everybody else is telling you to comprehend. They're not telling you to understand. That's why I say E equals MC squared. You literally have to understand that. Nobody comprehends E equals MC squared. Nobody's
I
comprehending that, bro.
mean,
You have to understand it. You have to stand under that, you know, stand under it and be in agreement with it. But you cannot literally comprehend that because it's a lie. E equals MC squared is supposed to prove gravity, but they literally took the E out of the equation.
Is
They
it
never
energy?
get a
Energy
never
equals
get the
mass
math
times the
right.
speed of light squared, or change time the speed of light squared.
Yeah, yeah, this is great. Energy, mass, and all that kind of stuff they talking about. Energy equals mass times squared and all that. Man, bro.
They use it for the
For
basis of
one,
the
like I'm saying, with the
conservation of law. No,
measurements,
nothing is neither created nor destroyed, but the entire universe is at a set level already.
see the math equation that he was wrestling with, and all the scientists were wrestling with for all those years. It included the ethers, which you have to include. You have to include the ethers in this equation. But he, with his brainiac self, decided to take the ethers out of the equation, and it allowed him to come up with an answer. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, all these scientists are still left with a problem that can't be solved because they have to add the ethers into this equation.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
saw, some guys, some big heads, some scholars, banging their head on the ethers not in the equation. And how do they put ethers in the equation? I think they
Mm-hmm.
fell into 0 point energy and all types of other things, negative space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For real.
And it comes out that everything is in the ether. Everything is electromagnetic in the ether. Reality as we know it isn't what it really is. Everything must be an electromagnetic cloud or a giant ocean of ether.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are etheric beings. You feel me? Literally. Like we have a glow about ourselves that we have it's called a bio. We know bio means the body, like biology. We literally have a
Bioluminescence.
bioluminescence. We have bioluminescence, which is essentially our aura that we just can't see with our human eyes. But it is visible on different scopes of viewing. And this is our aura, you know. This is our stars. We are stardust. We are etheric beings. We are of the ethers. Mm. This is literally what we exert. This is what we are, the sun inserts, and this is what we exert. As
Well, the
within, so
sun could
without.
have even with the sun, it could be a whole universe or a world in it. Like
Yeah.
for us, everything settles to its level. So solid objects sink to the bottom of the ocean, wood afloat on the ocean. You know,
Mm-hmm.
helium is lighter than air, hydrogen is lighter than helium. Well, what's lighter than hydrogen? There's actually something lighter than hydrogen, and I didn't realize this at first, but it's fire.
Yeah.
Fire,
What is it?
fire,
I mean,
fire is
how so?
lighter.
Because fire is oxygen.
No, fire isn't oxygen. Oxygen is just one of the sources of the materials that can be burned for fire. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, but you can have fire lighter than hydrogen, which means if everything falls to the level on our outermost shell of the atmosphere, it should be a ring of fire. And Quranically, in the hadiths and whatnot, around heaven is a ring of fire. You feel me?
Yeah.
So nobody dare
Yeah.
go toward it. It's a ring of fire and heat, but the,
Yeah.
in that
You
ring
say,
of fire is where heaven is.
and that's what the word corona means. It's the crown around the sun. It's called the corona. You know, that fire around the sun is called corona.
Yeah. Corona means
Yeah.
sun, or corona means king. You're right. It's the sun virus
Crown.
or the king
Crown.
virus.
Yeah. Crown.
And
Like
in all actuality,
coronation.
most of the images look like the sun, don't it?
Oh yeah, almost definitely. That's what a crown is representing on your head. The crown represents that corona from around the sun. Same exact thing. That's why we draw the sun on as a kid when we draw the sun in the sky, we draw the edge just those spikes all around the sun, you know, representing that corona.
Or that thorn and crown, that
But
crown of thorns,
yeah,
the thorn crown of Jesus.
yep, yep, exactly. The light bearer. Huh?
Man, I'm still throwing away at pagan. I got to look at. I wonder how many other words that
Yeah,
I just assume I know, but I really don't know.
yeah. Like let me I know there's a couple more I had wanted to say. Um, because I already know that. You know that like God is a transitive verb. You know the word God is not a
God
noun.
is action.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's a transitive verb. God is action. Taj Tariq Bey. I caught
yeah,
that
the
one.
action. Yeah, good. You know, you know, to invoke is an action.
And even to say the word, the technical definition of fact is truth of action. If it's truth without action, it's not a fact. Fact is truth of action.
Watch this. I tell you, really means fake.
Hmm.
You have de jure and you have what? De jure is
De facto.
de facto. And we know what de facto means. It's
Well,
literally fake.
no.
No, it
Fact,
does mean of fact.
facto, D means not. You know what I'm saying? Not fact. De facto, not
No, no, no,
fact.
no. I mean,
Right?
it means of because it's not prefix in this. It's his own word. You
Yeah,
know,
you're
it's a
correct.
Latin word, de meaning
It means a fact.
of fact. Okay.
It's de
So,
facto because
but
it's
we
a
know
governmental
that de
fact of
facto
action, but it's not de jure. It's not lawful.
is not de jure. It's not pure. Yeah, de jure means pure, or jury. You feel me? Like like jurisprudence, all of that. So de jure is of jurisprudence, and de facto is of fact. But it's like saying, yeah, the fact be that they have a gun up to your head. You know what I mean? The fact may be that we're being occupied by military rule. So that's de facto, but that's not de jure. So de facto is looked at as fake, you know? Like we're under a de facto government. That means we're under a fake government. So when people be saying facts, they really ain't talking about jacks. Not just mess, but now they really don't know that the word means that. They don't know that it really means is not the pure truth.
I might want to get a newer dictionary for that. Let me go to the 1970s with it. Things stick
Hey,
to
and you
memory
got that
better when I.
I know you got that Black's Law, but I got mine right here too. I know you got all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And pull up more. Show them what the words in the Black's Law dictionary.
More in the
You
Black's
know?
Law Dictionary is a officer of the Isle of Man.
Yeah. Yeah. A Moor has the power or has the authority. It says that a Moor has the authority of 100 bailiffs. 100 court bailiffs. Right? We know a court bailiff has authority in the court. A Moor has the authority of 100 bailiffs. Hmm? So that's not even with the letter S on the end of it. That's a Moor. Now, if the Moors come, then they have more authority than a whole force, a whole police force of bailiffs. You know what
Okay,
I mean?
I'm following you now. I'm looking up de facto inside the which one is this? My Webster's Unabridged, second edition. It's over here somewhere. But yeah, I got it de facto. De facto from Latin de from ablative factum of fact from facere to do actual in fact in reality existing but that is in reality existing
Yeah.
regardless of legal or moral considerations.
You see? Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
fact. De facto means it's a fact. A fact. It's a state of fact. This is the
Mhm.
these are the boys running the government. That's a state of fact. But fuck the law and fuck moral ramifications. This is just who running it by fact.
Yeah.
It
And
ain't de jure. It ain't
they're
pure.
for. Yeah, it's just saying they're for. You know,
Damn, I lost. Okay.
that's for sure. You know, they're not. They're not the jury. They're not.
Yeah, these boys be playing the game when it comes to putting. Yeah, there we go. I got it up now. So yeah, it says regardless of law or moral considerations, de facto is the dudes in charge.
Yep.
It's deep.
So, matter of fact, is that a law book?
No, that
So
was
look, it's
Webster
the
second
dictionary.
edition.
Yeah,
Say that
you
again.
got. Uh, I don't know. Let me see.
You wanted me to check out something else?
Yeah, just pull up status real quick.
Status in law?
Yeah. Yeah. Or not in the same book. Same book. Oh, you
Okay.
got the law? Well, if you're gonna pull out the law, then I wanted you to pull up appropriate persona or proper person. But that's why I was talking about status, because of my proper person status or appropriate persona. This is
Look.
now this is what TikTok's scared of. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, this is what they're scared of. They say these dudes a little too heavy. Y'all tap that screen, tap that screen. It's about to get real. That's hey, I with you. TIYJB. You know what I mean?
Look up persona.
Tap that screen, that screen. That's if y'all. That's a That's only if y'all enjoying this, or if y'all want more. Yeah, we got to Miss B. I don't know how we're gonna teach, but we're gonna try to speak at the same time.
I'm looking at persona right now in law. Persona
Mhm.
in civil law, character in virtue of which contain certain rights belong to a man and certain duties are imposed upon him. Thus, one man may unite many characters. Persona, as for example, the characters of father and son, of master and servant. Hmm. Persona mortalis, persona immortalis.
TikTok. Mhm. So hold on.
Um,
You might have to go to proper person. It might pop up. Go to proper, and then you'll probably see proper person.
on it. Nope, I gotta go to the eyes. I must gotta go to improprio or
Yeah. Impropriate.
I
I
got
got the
proper
same book. I should have
care.
been looking at it. I could have just told you. Let me see. Brother, you
Yeah. Impropria persona in one own proper person
hey
is at the
brother,
very bottom of the page.
Yusuf.
Oh, I see you. All right. It kicks off on page 899.
Hey brother Yusuf, you see me?
Yeah, I'm seeing it in your background.
Okay. 899.
So yeah, impropria persona. It's on page 899. 899, 900. It is a rule in pleading that pleas to the jurisdiction of a court must be pled in propria persona, because if pleaded by attorney, they admit the jurisdiction, as the attorney is an officer of the court, and he is presumed to plead after having obtained leave, which admits the jurisdiction. In some jurisdictions, however, this rule is no longer recognized. Look up status on this one.
889, you mean?
899, bottom of the page.
Dang, I'm getting oh, okay. So they put I am, they put I in. But yeah, inappropriate. But it's still it could be same. I guess it's like saying I am when you say I am, the same thing. And it was own proper. Hold on,
So it's basically saying if you get a lawyer or
hold on,
anything, you automatically fall under the jurisdiction.
hold on. And one's own proper person. See, that's why I was trying to get them to, show proper person. They didn't even want to show you a proper person. But in one's own proper person, they saying it's a rule in pleading that pleas to the jurisdiction of the court must be pled what? In one's own proper person status.
You cannot get a
Because it
lawyer
pleaded,
because a lawyer
yeah,
is an
because
officer
it
of the
pleaded
court.
by attorney. Because if pleaded by attorney, they admit the jurisdiction. As an attorney is an officer of the court, and he is presumed to plead after having obtained leave. You have given him you are able you are unable to defend yourself. You are incapacitated in this measure, so you can't even have your own proper person status or
I
never
got
have.
status right
Because the
here
thing
while
about
we
this
at it.
appropriate persona, reason I
You
bring
hear
up
me?
appropriate persona,
Status.
hmm,
Status now. Condition or position with regard to law, as her status is that of a married woman. Second, position, rank, standing, as in no one can question his status as a scholar. Or number three, a state or a condition as of affairs of status quo, the existing state of affairs. And it goes on, but
yeah,
yeah, I got status. It links dead in with proper persona and improper persona.
yeah. And the reason I'm bringing it up because appropriate persona or your proper person status is literally supposed to be corrected 6 months after turning 18 years old. But do they tell us that? Why they not teaching? They got us want to get our driver's license. You know, you know, be able to do what they say we can do at 18 and 21. Like, no,
Keep us
six
in the
months after
corporate
turning
status.
18, you're supposed to correct your proper person status. I was like 28 when I did it, but I wish I'd have, knew about it way before. It's like, why nobody
I'm in
ever taught us
process
that?
right now. I told you, I just woke up with the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's real. That's real. See, I was learning this when Sabir Baden was learning this. I ain't gonna say I've been doing it no 20 years though. I mean, I've been studying for 20 years, but as a Moor, I only been a Moor for like 11 years. You know what I mean? I've been nationalized for over 10 years. You feel me? So, I corrected my status over a decade ago, is what I would say.
Yeah, I'm in that process right now, right now.
Yes, sir. You on the right path because obviously you're a good Moor. You feel me? We don't need intellectual evil people. You know what I mean? Mischievous
Right.
motherfucker. You know,
We got
people that
enough of the
wanna
10%.
we got 10%. Exactly. We gotta be that 5%. You know? Definitely the 85 real or the 10%, we all know the 85% is the deaf, dumb, and the blind. And then you got the 10%, they know the truth, but they avoid it. Then you got the
Or
5%, we
they
know the
hide it for
truth.
benefit. They
Yeah.
manipulate for
I like
benefit.
that. I like that you added that. Because I ain't never seen nobody make sure that's known. You're right. But most definitely. And the 5%, we know the truth and we seek it. That's the only thing.
That's this book
We know
right
the
here.
truth and we seek it. And you
That
seeking it. You
10%
seeking the truth.
know that truth. They hide that truth and
And
they
number
capitalize
27, you're
off
in the
of
right
that
spot there.
truth. And then
Learning,
they try to tip them scales. They try to
learning like this.
offset. They try to offset that karma. They try to rebalance that real quick. That's kind of why they tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. Everything is volunteer.
Yep.
But yeah, enough of them. Yeah, ancient America. I was doing on a show with the Mississippians, the
Hmm.
Mississippian Indian culture, the ancient mound builders.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it the Mrs. Super. You feel me?
Hmm.
The super. Because it's coming from what? Lake Superior. You know what I mean?
Well,
So all of
well,
it's
very
like
few people
connected.
don't realize. I would have said Lake Illinois.
Oh yeah, all of that. All of it's one, all of it's come from the ocean. All of it's, like
No, no,
basically
no.
all of that Illinois River is
Most
coming from the
people
Great
don't
Lake.
realize that out of the five Great Lakes, Lake Michigan wasn't called Lake Michigan 200 years ago. Lake Michigan
Mm.
used to be Lake Illinois. And when it was called Lake Illinois, it was
Oh,
connected to the Illinois, and it was connected to the
well,
mound builders of Georgia and Mississippi. You feel me?
well, that's fire. I like that. I ain't know that.
So yeah, Lake Illinois before they changed the name. Illinois, the boundaries, the borders changed, the names changed. But I got a book of old maps floating around here, so I kind of keep myself up on that.
Yes, sir.
See if I
Yes,
can
sir.
put it. It ain't the
Man, them
greatest
old
book.
maps don't even they don't be outdated either. Because when I did my research on one, I'm like, bro, all of
Here
these
we go.
places are still all across the U.S. They just added they've added so many other cities around those that they don't have the fanfare or the notoriety, but they're still in all these same places. They still there.
Yeah. Let's see what's the first map I get here. Bam. Hey, look, peep gang. It was still called Lake Illinois. This is a map of 1698, Lake Illinois.
Yes, sir. I like that.
For the people that think I'm just talking out the side of my neck, like, nah, I've been studying these maps. You'll be amazed at how the borders changed and what the names of a couple of things were that you might not
Yep.
realize.
Exactly.
But yeah, these borders, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, parts of
Hold on. What's that?
Louisiana,
What is that
Florida.
little green piece? what's a little green piece above Florida, like they tripping. That was really Florida too, but
It's
they
Florida.
clipped
Yeah,
it
this is really
off.
Florida too. Whose
What's
territory
that?
was it at the time? See if it is
Hold
on.
on, it's a blur.
Yeah, it ain't clicking.
They don't want it to be known.
But it was different territories for different folks. So the green was one group, the pink was another group, the orange was another group.
Mhm.
Think French,
Yeah, I know
British,
all of that.
Spanish.
All of
Yeah,
that.
that was
I
the
know
French,
all of
British,
that.
and Spanish. All of this was
I know
Florida
all
at
of
the
that was
point. Well,
Florida.
no,
Like
no, no,
even that
no,
green part, even the green
no,
part.
not in 1698. All right.
Okay, that's when they seeded. That's when they seeded. That's when they colonized that area. Okay.
So 1698, this wasn't a part of Florida yet. Now this would be what we would call the Carolinas. This would mess around and be North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying?
thinking 1619. That's around 1619. It was still Florida, the Carolinas. But you say
Well,
1698. That must be when they took over.
it's, yeah,
Yeah,
1698.
Carolina. That's Caroline and company came on over.
Yeah, that's the Carolinas. That's Carolina slipping into Florida. And even now, this is Virginia slipping into Carolinas because this wouldn't be where Virginia is now. So all of this changed, but you get the people the names, it'll tell you a story. And then when we come out to the biggest, the mind tease or the mind breakup, we get to realizing that the Great Lakes were man-made. This
Oh yeah,
water
that's
in
what I'm
this,
saying. Mississippi. The Mississippi's man-made.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the
The
water in the
Nile
Great
River.
Lakes is a specific water that's nowhere else. This is even the water in the lake is something different
Yeah, it's the
about it.
freshest water. It's the first body of water in the world.
It was a different filtration
And
system.
but
Something
the
else happened
sad
with it.
sad part, the sad part about it is it's the largest fresh body of water in the world. But then they have what's the name of that town right there in Michigan? I mean, yeah, in Michigan with the lead in their water. All of a sudden, I couldn't
Oh,
remember at the
Flint,
last second.
Flint, Flint,
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
Like, how dare you have Flint, Michigan in Michigan?
And this big
Like,
body
don't
of
you?
water right here.
Yeah, all that fresh water right there, and you got these people drinking lead, bathing in lead.
Hold
They
on.
got to
And you know
bathe with
what?
bottled
All of this
water.
would be Michigan right now. Michigan's surrounded by like three sides by water.
Yeah, man. Come on
That
now.
is ridiculous.
No
Yeah, that is
excuse.
ridiculous. Look, this used to be called New Spain. New Mexico, New Spain. It's deep.
Oh, y'all, you know, okay, understand. You don't like knowledge. They don't like the knowledge. Dang. You know,
But yeah, this
so
is
check
already
that
1600.
out.
I need to get an older, but I want older maps. This started in the 1600s, so it's kind of like already too late. The European boys started the name game and the boundaries game in a negative way. We need to get them the legit game before they got on deck. I want them 1300s maps. I want them 1400s maps. You feel? That's what they had.
So,
That's what they hiding from us. Good, but for all new boys getting in,
so,
brother Piemonte
hey,
Bay.
and my brother was talking. Watch this. Othello was literally, bro, when they describe him and his abilities and all of that, Othello is literally the same word as athlete. They literally were calling him the athlete. We saying like, basically a story about a LeBron James or somebody. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like they know that we are athletes. So they call us Othellos. You feel me? Or
There was
athletes.
almost never a time you heard the phrase the more and it wasn't with greatness.
Yeah. But that wasn't
You
the
feel?
inception. That was their conception.
Right. The Moors are just good at whatever we did. Everything we knew what we knew what we were doing, whatever we was doing. Whether we were mariners on boats, whether we were blacksmiths, whether we were chemists, whether we were mathematicians, whether we do this.
Yep.
We the best at it.
Yeah. Point blank. They know that. They
It's
know it.
like back then, you didn't want just anybody working on your stuff. If you wanted top shelf, you needed you a Moor.
Man, they already know. If you want your house built, like put it like this, the word mason comes from the word Martin, Maure. Maure means more. So you just put the N on there. Wow. Martin. Moore. Mourn. Feel me? You just a Moor. That's what a mason means. So they know who the original builders were. That's why the history of Masons and Moors is shrouded. Like, it's not widely known or publicized. Nobody knows much about Masons or Moors because they are the Moors. You can't let them know about what you be telling them about the Masons, the real Masons. We talking about brick and mortar. We talking about mound builders, pyramid builders, the ancient architects of the world. The people who built the Sphinx and everything
Wherever
like it.
we
The
go,
old
it
menhirs.
becomes great. Whenever we leave, it falls.
Yep.
We built
Yep.
everything. We built Americas. We left into Africa, built Africa, left into Iberia, built Iberia, left Iberia, came back to America and rebuilt this. We built everything. Where we go, we make it the
Everything.
greatest nation on the planet.
We put our fingerprint on it.
Put our fingerprint on it
Yeah.
everywhere. Egypt, Israel, West
Like
Africa, South Africa, Sudan,
nobody else has
Ethiopia, Yemen.
landmarks. Nobody else had landmarks. We invented landmarks because we invented the structures. We built the structures. We'll turn a whole mountain into a castle or a fortress, a pyramid, a mountain. We're going to chisel out a mountain, the inside, the outside. That's why I say sometimes we looking at mountains and we think it's not a home. Like this is just a castle that they didn't want. They left it cloaked. Nobody knows because they didn't shape it up like they shaped up the rest of them. So this one looks like, oh, it's just a mountain.
I
More at
grew up
least to I.
Islamic. I grew up Islamic with the stories of Ad and Thamud, these cities of giants. And these giants, they used to be competitive. They was mighty men and they were great build. And they used to make mega palaces out of mountains, take the sides of mountains and make mega palaces. And they would compete with each other to make these mega palaces and structures. And then they would turn around and not even live in them. They're just something they did for fun. And now we running around the world seeing ancient Jaresh and Jordan by the Dead Sea and these super palaces in the mountains and wondering where they came from. Islamically, it said the giants built them.
Yeah, and that just means Mauritanian. Because Mauritania means land of the giants. Huh? So we know Ta means land, right? So Tania would be the land of. So we know Mari literally meant giants. Moors were considered giants. You feel me? That's why you got the Maringians, Gian. Only thing you're missing is the T, giant. You feel me? Maringians and Varangians. You feel me? So Moors
Yeah.
were literally called Mauritanians, meaning the land of the giants. So they telling you the Moors or the
But hold on.
Masons or the Mauritanians built all
Islamic
of these
story
great
kind of
structures.
goes the Islamic story kind of goes side by side with Christianity. See, with Ad and Thamud, they challenged God, so God destroyed them. And the way he destroyed them is he had the earth open up and swallow them. So most of the giants from
Flood.
Ad and Thamud were destroyed, but they had descendants, remnants that were left behind. Now, the descendants would be regular sized people, but this would be the first of the Arabian tribes. So a certain group of Arabians or Bedouins came directly. They're direct descendants of the giants who were destroyed. But don't confuse that with Ishmael or the Ishmaelites or Arabs today. Ishmael is from Abraham. Abraham left his Egyptian wife in the desert with the baby, and they ran into the Arabians. And Ishmael married Arabian women and Egyptian women and things and made the current Arab world. But the original Arabians was a different people that came from the giants. God sent them many prophets. Prophet Hud, they would tell you, Hud. So them boys coming from Ad and Thamud, that would have been the descendants of the giants or the remnants, that would be Jordan and Palestine today. You hear me?
Hey, so brother, you
Yeah,
ever watch Crum TV on YouTube?
you breaking in and out right now.
My bad. Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah, you breaking up bad right now. Your sound choppy.
Hey, can y'all hear me? Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all can hear me. Yeah. Let me see. They hating on me.
Throwing that signal block on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, before I was saying that the two cities of giants, Ad and Thamud, they were destroyed by God, but their descendants or the remnants would have been the Arabians or Jordan and Palestine.
Mic check. Mic check.
Yeah, I can hear you now. You sounded a lot clearer.
All right. Let me see. It seemed like moving a little slow. Oh yeah. I was asking. I say, have you ever watched Crum TV on YouTube?
About watch who on YouTube?
Crum TV.
You know, I can't. I actually remember seeing that, but I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah. 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 You got to check my brother out. I, that's why I be on YouTube a lot.
Crime TV. Yeah, I seen it definitely before. Can't say I remember anything that stood out to me. Like I said, I just be scanning
Yeah.
YouTube, go through the guys. I think I did fall upon Crumb TV once or twice.
What you know about bro Sanchez?
Brother Sanchez,
Yeah.
familiar with the name, but
Yeah.
not from
Yeah.
my circles. But I'm
Yeah. I know
familiar
what you
with him.
mean.
Bro Sanchez, Sinetta,
Yeah.
Taharka Bay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
watched it.
That nigga Target, man. Like I was on his channel too.
Yeah, wouldn't dare jump on it. You know, Taharka comes off as a more science temple cat to me, and I dodge the temple cats. You know, I don't do
Man,
the
he not
the
teaching.
pro.
He
Huh?
not teaching. I think that's why he kind of ruined my presentation, because I brought my presentation to his platform first. Indians are Moors in America, right? But then Calico did ask for a Moor to address that. He said he wanted the top Moor. I'm like, no, don't take no top Moor to address that shit you talking about, you know? Cause I ain't even want Dr. Alim El them to waste their time. And then the way I did it, nobody wouldn't have did it anyways. You know what I'm
Hey, you know, so
saying?
you just reminded me. That's why he blowing me. He coming at a Dr. Ali hard. He had Ali Muhammad head, Shia Maru. He hitting them with the females on all types of little cases,
Yeah,
calling them a
yeah.
scammer. Now, is there truth to it? Possibly, I don't know. But if it is, is that the way you're supposed to go about it?
Man,
You know, I grew
man,
up
that
I
was
grew up
funny.
Sunni Muslim. You make 77 excuses for your brother. You know, you supposed to do that behind closed doors, and it's like you
Yeah,
having too much fun just
yeah.
trying to humiliate brother as if he wasn't out here the last 15 years doing hella research. You feel me? Quit playing games.
Man, Dr. Alim is the man. Like, that's one of my masterpieces. I ain't gonna lie. That's for
Now, don't
sure.
get me wrong. I looked at that ARNA, Aboriginal Republic of North America, and saw that $750 first time fees and all of it. And like, wait a minute, red flags. But the research is impeccable. Like, and off that alone, it ain't supposed to be no
Hey, bro,
public blasting
I
and
promise you,
enjoyment off
bro.
this.
If he sends 700 or whatever, everybody else is gonna be. If they knew what he knew, they're gonna want five and or better. You know what I mean? Like, if you familiar with that, brother, like I don't. Well, maybe Jonah Bate. You ever heard of Jonah Bate?
Nah, Jonah Bay, I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, and the brother when you anybody, like, have you ever heard of the term secured party creditor?
Yeah,
Yeah, you hear that term, you're gonna realize that Tazdak is like almost stapled to the term. Not to say he made it up. He's not Rashad Jamal, but he's just done put out so much information. He's the man in that category. What I'm saying, the dude that when the dude Young Pharaoh got in trouble, like, he tried the nationality thing with brother Polite pimped him out of some racks. He had them think it cost 30 G's. You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
goddamn, eventually he had to go to Tazadak to correct his status, right? And Tazadak is a Moor. So you went to a Moor to get help, and then you went right back banging on the Moors after this man helped you and got you out of your court situation. You know what I mean? So he's an agent. You know what I mean? Of confusion, big time confusion. And what I'm saying is, like I say, he had Brother Polite hit him for like 30 racks. And you know, uh Tazadak hit him for some racks, but not no 30. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying,
I
like,
say
the
polite.
person
God, I
gonna
mean, that
charge.
polite sweet with it. It was not. Yeah, I ain't heard nothing about polite recently.
Yeah. I don't want to either. I ain't lie. I know what you mean. Like, he ain't hitting
Last
on
thing I
nothing.
heard was a case with
He's a
the
dead
young
battery.
girl. He caught a case with a young girl or something. Last I heard.
Yeah. I mean, he had already ran out of information. He done mimicked the greats as long as he could. You know, when he was talking that black woman is God talk, all of them dudes, they ain't doing it but copying Dr. W. Blair, RP,
Nah,
Ashe.
I was more interested in that Nuwapian or that nation state them boys is calling themselves making.
Man, whatever he called himself, New Covenant, like that shit was that was some fake stuff, man. That was fake. You
Yeah,
know,
that's what I was
that's
trying to get a track to.
possible. Even bro, I don't deal with New Wapians anyways. I deal with New Wapians. The original, when the master teacher was free, they were New Wapian Moors. Huh? All of a sudden, when he got that time, they became the Wapians and they became incorporated. They were the Nuwabian nation of Moors. He got locked up. They became the Nuwapian incorporated. You know what I'm saying? And literally in his teachings, he teaches, and it's the truth too, that the letter P perverted the B, saying the B predates the letter P. So he would never call them Nuwapians. That's why he called them Nuwabians. You feel me? So
Yeah.
to me, they some agents. A lot of them are ignorant. It's like telling somebody it's not the letter J. He couldn't have been Jesus. Crazy,
Like,
but
fam,
they
that
conscious.
letter didn't exist.
But the Nuwapians are conscious. But drop the P, grab the B. You know what I mean?
Well, I haven't heard anything of them lately either. You happen to bring up polite, and
It's
it's like,
been
yeah,
years.
he was
It's been
running his
years.
mouth.
They disappeared. They disappeared hard.
Well, ironically, there's still a Nuwapian bookstore not far from me. And I just realized it's still open. Like, hey, the Nuwapians are still there.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, you be like, oh, shit. Nuwapians, I never heard of them. You know what I mean? Like, if we didn't know about them years and years ago, you wouldn't know about them at all. Because they ain't around. They ain't
Well,
teaching
yeah,
nothing.
I ran across them in my quick studies. Told you I just came up in a pandemic. So I had a crash course over the last year and a half. But I brushed right
It's
over
good.
them. Watched a few hours of Sinetta, brushed right over them, Brother Reggie and all of them. You know what? I'm a researcher, so everybody that claimed to be a scholar, I took all of the work they put out and I went to verify the work myself. You feel me? And this is how I
Don't
did it. This is
believe
how I
me?
caught up so
Look
quick.
it up. Same way
Right,
when I
right.
say
I look
what I say about Pagan, what it. Boom, you went to it. And that's how everything has to be.
I gotta be. So yeah,
For
I'm
real.
on that. You bring it up like, damn, you know something? Now that you bring it up, let me check on this. The word pagan. I never read it. And how noble Drew Ali say, a man don't know by being told, you know.
Yep. Man, they'll not being told.
But I jumped straight on the scholar. So yeah, I was on Brother Reggie. I was on Brother Ali, Brother Taj Tariq Bey. I'm listening to the Israelites and the Moors and everybody debate the Kemetic boys, and I caught up quick. It wasn't hard to shift through the bull. And anybody that's taken it to a religious aspect is automatically an agent in my book. So you get to telling me Deuteronomy this and that, and the scriptures this and that. Hey, fam, you an agent. You know, you get to telling me Muhammadism this and that, Prophet Muhammad, you an agent. If you get to telling me the great prophet Noble Drew Ali, this and that, divine this and that, you an agent. All that, no, y'all agents. This is the distraction that you can be distracted with forever instead of actually manifesting something.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want you to stay busy imagining things as opposed to manifesting things. So I'm weary of all religious folk. 85%.
Hey, we got 8.5 likes, and you said 85%. You feel me? And then look, I said we the 5%, and we got 5 people. So we the 5%. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know, we don't need large numbers because like put it like this: when you say the masses, people don't realize the M is silent. So they're not the masses. You might well take the M off. Real.
That's okay.
Never follow
That's
the
why I was thinking to
masses.
come together, make a new nation state, and we'll set upon a new law for the masses. We'll give them hope and something to
Yep.
believe in. We'll give them a
Hmm.
criteria for existence.
Or a crisis.
One or the other. As crazy as that
Yep.
sounds, right?
Or maybe the criteria is the crisis. The crisis is the criteria.
You know, what else? What could be a better cure for a narcissistic world, right?
Man,
Everybody's individualistic and narcissistic. How do we cure that? Put them in a state of hunger and needing each other.
exactly.
They'll learn what it means to be community packed and tribe again.
So
Indians
exactly.
in that image right there, looking
We
Moorish
done
to me.
touched on. Yep. That's Native American too.
Yeah, I was initially like, oh, whoa, whoa, all them giant statues. I'm just seeing the little
Exactly.
dude right there.
Hmm. Hmm. That's how Columbus described those people. I ain't lying. Like he said, the women are big enough that they could have picked him up and bit his whole head off. You know what I'm saying? Like Columbus, these giant women, they were nice to him and they took him inside their home and fixed him a meal and everything. He said these women weren't worried about them because they could have killed him easily. You know what I'm saying? So the women were just being nice to him, right? Kind. I'm gonna say kind because nice means foolish, and we could pull that up in the dictionary if we wanted to. What I'm saying is,
Already knowing. If
uh,
anybody asks, let me know.
hey, what is so eventually, like the women were preparing a meal and all for Columbus and the little soldiers or whatever, and the husband of these giant women came in the house while they were sitting at the dinner table, and like Columbus then was scared for their life when these men as big as these giant women came in the house also. So he said, luckily, you know, they were gentle giants and they were easy going with them, and like they weren't over, they weren't tripping on their women like like people do in modern times. They be bugging, don't trust their women or whatever. But these giants weren't quite like that, or they probably would have killed Columbus and them. That shoot, they fed them and everything, and took them back to their ships. That's just about it. Like, but he spoke on a lot of like everything was just bigger over there. He said the grapes were as big as your head. You know, he said you could eat one grape, or all kind of things, like all the different fruits. He was just saying how larger they were. But a lot, it could have been the fact that it was just fruits that he never seen before. You know, because I know when I look at a plum, I mean, I wouldn't doubt that a person could look at a plum like a giant grape, you know, or
And now that
whatever
you
the
said
case.
it, that's the truth for that. But then I
You
think
know,
it's a lot of vegetation. I think the vegetation, the animals, the humans, everything was bigger.
it was bigger. It was bigger. It was definitely more bigger. One is growing wild free. You know, it was growing the right way. So yeah, it would have been greater because like what we call trees, like we call this a tree, but literally it's a vine, right? Because if you notice, you put two trees next to each other, what they're gonna do? They're gonna intertwine. You feel me? So they'll
Well,
become one tree. You know what
I
I mean?
got the a process. Yeah, I was looking at geologists or whatever you call them boys, biologists as well. Right now we're carbon-based creatures, but there was a
No,
time
no,
that
no,
we
no, 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 no. Caucasians are carbon based. We are carb. We are
okay,
pure carbon.
we're carbon beings.
Yeah, yeah, we're
But there was
carbon
a
beings.
time when we were carbon beings and we inhale oxygen. It's oxygen that we need. But they were saying there was a time where we were not carbon beings, but we were silicon beings. And we weren't breathing in oxygen, we were actually breathing in nitrogen. And everything was giant at this time,
That
more
means
higher.
fish. That means we were fish. Yeah,
I
that's
never
what
thought
that
about that, but
means.
and it was saying that
Yeah,
something
we
happened
come
on the
from
earth where
water.
there was a fire. And this fire burned and burned and burned.
Yeah,
So this great
yeah, and
fire,
evaporated the water. And evaporated the
it
water.
depleted
Made more land.
and it depleted the oxygen supply. It knocked a lot of the oxygen out and it added a lot of carbon. So with this great
Mm-hmm.
fire sucking out the oxygen
The
and
chart.
releasing all of the carbon fell upon the planet like that, and we're these new carbon form now, and not the
Mm-hmm.
silicon form anymore because we couldn't
Exactly.
be silicon. So this
Yeah,
whole process, but it was a beautiful process. I got to try to dig it up.
exactly. Yep. Yep.
And it tweaked me on the idea that we were silicon beings and we was
We
breathing
probably would have been
nitrogen.
we probably would have been translucent water beings. You know what I mean? Like very, very translucent because
off
you know,
off the
no
bat. And
need.
then with X amount more oxygen, it's like the atmosphere would have been a lot more moist or watery anyway. It's like even as we walk on land, we're still in water, you know?
Yeah,
We're breathing
it's
air. No,
called
we're not.
humidity.
We're breathing water.
Watch this. It's humidity, and they tell us all the time. Science tells us that the Earth is heating up. So if the Earth is heating up, it's humidity is literally like matter of fact, pull the word up, pull the word humid up in the dictionary. But humidity is literally more is water, right? So if there's more water in the atmosphere, that would mean that animals from the water would be able to come on land more readily. And the hotter it gets, the more humid it gets. That would mean that we are underwater, you know, in a more literal
Yeah,
sense. So eventually we would
we're still
adapt to
in
be able
water.
to walk into the water. Yeah, everything would be water. We just wouldn't know it.
What we're
Like the heat
calling
waves
air,
coming off the ground.
what we're
You
calling
know, when we
air
see
is
those
still
heat waves
water.
coming off the ground, yeah, you know
The
how we see those heat
vapors.
waves, waving water. So, the heat waves coming off the ground is showing you the humidity and how much water we under. Oh, it's choppy now. Oh man, could you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh shit.
I can hear
My
you loud
sister
and
said
clear.
it. Yeah, I
I
think my
was just
sister
looking
said
through
it
the
was choppy.
dictionary. I'm actually looking humid up,
Yep.
and I found it humid, moist, from humer, to be moist, moist, damp, specifically containing much water vapor. Hmm,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
there you go.
Hey,
Moist, much
come on,
water
man.
vapor, damp.
Hey,
So even as we
hey,
walk through air, we're walking through water. We're still water
bro.
creatures.
Bro, I need to do every show with you right there. You know what I'm saying? Cocked and loaded, ready to, you know, lay them down.
He
For
said, pull
real.
it out real quick.
You know what I'm saying? Same way they pull out the Bible, bro. The same way. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, come on, man.
Let's see if I can get it on the cam. You got it.
Exactly. Like I said, humidity is literally is water in the atmosphere. You know? So the more humid it's gonna get, we're literally gonna be more underwater than we've ever been, to the point it's the norm. Once it becomes and they always tell us nobody will be able to survive if it gets too hot, except for who? The
Off the
Moors,
bat, yeah.
so-called black people. So-called black people are the only people that be able to survive this kind of heat. So being able to survive this kind of heat means we'll be able to survive that kind of humidity. Surviving that kind of humidity means we'll be able to survive being underwater. We will be able to walk into the water. The water of the ocean may very much deplete, but it will literally be above us and around us.
And then
Already underwater, the air is water, but
it's
the more
crazy this sound. I was
humidity
watching
is the literal water. Huh?
before I jumped on, I was watching this, what's the new movie? The new Black Panther, right? And it was talking about Neymar, because Neymar is one of the Mayan people, sunken city of Atlantis cats, right? And his people was something like the Panther people, and they prayed to their God and drank from the plant, whatever, and they became the blue people that couldn't breathe air no more, and they went into the water. Namor's mother happened to be pregnant, and he was the first one of them born underwater. He was born
Mhm.
with wings on his ankles, etc. But the trip for me is he was the only one that can breathe air and water. And the Wakandas are trying to find out, hey, how could he breathe air and water, but the rest of them can't breathe regular air? They got the water mask on. And they were saying in his mutation that his skin could absorb the oxygen. His skin was absorbing oxygen. So it wasn't like he was doing it with his lungs. His skin would absorb the oxygen out the air, or his skin would absorb the oxygen out the water. You feel me? So he was a different creature altogether. And that I
Exactly.
find interesting. So if it gets like too humid for us to breathe with our mouth and lungs, would we bypass the lungs and
No, it
whatnot
would
and just use
it
our
would never
skin to
get too
breathe?
humid. It won't get too humid. It can't get too humid for us, is what I'm saying. That's the number one reason we have large nostrils and everything. Other people will not survive. They tell us that. They tell us if it gets too hot, only people that will be able to survive is us. So that means that a large nose, everything will come in more handy. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about hybridization or mutation at this point. Like plants got
Yeah.
photosynthesis. Maybe we don't need to eat food and digest it. Maybe we can just absorb sunlight and air and get nutrition out of that. Maybe we can jumpstart some stuff that's in us that we ain't been using. Like we don't know why we got our pancreas.
Thank you. Hey, bro, you just killed it. That's exactly what it is. Because like if you look at the Baju people, these mermaid type people, these seafaring people, they live in and out of the water 24/7. They can dive,
So
bro. They don't
us talking
have no
about
equipment. Can you hear me?
nostrils and hair, that's what we did the first time to deal with that level of dryness or that level of heat. But maybe they saying only so-called Moors because genetically we got the information within our DNA to mutate like that, and the other creatures don't.
Hey, hey, brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, I was saying, like right, these Baju people in and out of the water, you know, all day, every day. Like literally dive. They have no equipment diving, of course. They literally can dive 230 feet. You know what I mean? So these people can hold their breath for a long amount of time. And it seems like science says that these people having a large uh
Lungs,
pancreas or something.
enlarged
No,
pancreas,
it's something
enlarged
about their,
lungs. I think they
yeah,
can stay
and,
underwater for like 5, 10 minutes. These boys can hold their breath for like five, ten
15,
minutes straight.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen
Bro,
them.
they're
I,
going
I seen them.
30 feet. You know what I mean?
And their bodies was able to produce more oxygen out the red blood cells than our bodies could. Going back to it, right? To just breathe, we might not necessarily even need lungs like that. You feel our skin could actually just do this. And like I said, with this new movie, Neymar, his skin was absorbing air or water and breaking down
Exactly.
air
It's
or
gonna
breaking
filter it.
down
It's
water.
gonna filter it. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of us sweating. Like we're gonna be sweating for that purpose, you know?
It was like, yeah, that was interesting. They put a lot of things in the movies, right? So I found that interesting when I was watching it.
Because what's the largest organ on the human body?
Right?
Your skin. Your
Oh, yeah,
skin
you're
is
right.
the largest
Skin.
organ on your body.
Our
So the
skin is
organ,
our spacesuit.
yeah. So obviously it has more function than we give it, than we understand. Hmm?
Yeah, a lot more.
Just
It's within that
yeah.
DNA if it really exists. Like I said, who knows what we can unlock? Why do plants? How can plants just absorb sunlight? How come plants can do it and we can't? And how
Oh no,
come?
we have melanin. That's what melanin is about. It's sunlight. Huh? And that means it has to, create something like plant crystal synthesis. That's the same thing we do, what we call vitamin D. Vitamin D is calcitriol. Calcitriol is literally calcium, you know, calcium. So this is literally proving that sunlight gives you strong bones and not milk.
Yeah,
Sunlight. So we all get that energy like the plant does from photosynthesis. It literally will energize you when you're in shape. When people are out of shape, it'll cut you down. But I promise you, when you in the sun will invigorate you. It will for you. That's what the sun is. The sun is electric. The sun is literally electric. That's why we can have what we call solar power. That's why the plant life is called electric foods. We have an electric diet because of that. So, you know, everything is electromagnetism. Like basically electricity is slowed down magnetism. Huh? That's why the moon is magnetic and the sun is electric. And Marian culture, they would tell you that the sun was birthed from the moon, and that's true, proving you that electricity is slowed down magnetism because the moon is magnetism. So the sun is a soul moon.
nah, you just
That's where
open up a
electricity
whole
comes.
nother. You opened up a whole nother can of worms for me right there. Because I would
Yeah,
argue that what we consider electricity and what we consider magnetism, or what we consider the four forces, they're all one force. They're not four separate forces.
yeah, just it.
I would
Yeah,
say
it's
what we
all
consider
magnetism.
what we what we consider sound and what we consider light is really the same thing. We just perceiving it
Yeah,
differently with different functions in our body, but it's actually the same
exactly.
source, and we perceiving its
It
source
is.
differently in this matrix.
Look. Watch it. When you say mag, that's the root word for the word magic, right? And the reason they call it, like, even the word like I say, magnet, they call it a magnet because they can't explain how it works. You hear me? So it's considered magic. You feel me? So this is that source. That source that we call it magnetism is unexplainable. It's unexplainable. It's that type of energy that we say cannot be created nor destroyed. It's often imitated, never duplicated. You know what I mean?
Like I'm mad I ain't got like my little PowerPoint. If like I can draw a wave function, a wave up, down,
Yo,
that wave function, And when you take a wave function and do a reverse wave function, what we call an electromagnetic energy is the 2 points of the wave function where they meet. So it's like a particle and a wave. You see the particle at the meeting of electro and magnetic. And when you don't see, when the meeting of electro and magnetic isn't there, you don't see the particle. It's back in wave function. So it's a particle and a wave at the same time, and it's merely observation that changes it.
Exactly, perception.
It's perception, observation that changes the reality around you. So your mere perception of your mere observation of your reality is actually changing your reality.
Exactly.
And
Yep, we
with
all have a
that
part.
same
We all have
thing,
a hand.
that means all of existence, everything that we know of, must have an observer. Because if there wasn't an observer, this reality wouldn't exist. This reality would collapse when the observer is no longer observing. So there is an all-seeing eye.
Exactly.
And that's going with quantum theory, consciousness making reality, et cetera, et cetera. Uncaused cause. Start mathematically breaking down God, which is relatively simple. Zero. God is zero. Everything
That dot.
begins at zero. Everything
That dot.
ends at zero. That dot, that zero. And I also say God is empty space. When you look at all of the scriptures, He's closer to
Like
you
like
than your
like
jugular vein. He's closer to you than your
like
jugular vein, but He's further than the furthest galaxy at the same
yeah.
time.
So
How is
that's
that
see that's
possible?
really that's really describing water, right? Because they
No,
tell
because
you God comes from what's
water
this?
is
Because
within its
God
plane.
God water is within you. Is that what I'm saying? So what's this? What I'm saying is that God comes from nothing, but no thing doesn't mean that there's absolutely nothing. It's just truly space, right? So you
Well,
say no thing that like they'll describe the ocean as nothingness. You know what I mean? So the ocean will be described as this nothingness, right? From that dark, deep abyss is where life originally started.
what I'm saying is God is that zero or empty space.
So I'm saying all life,
Zero or empty space existed always. And then what we call reality exists. But eventually this reality won't exist. But the thing that existed before this reality existed would have witnessed this reality's existence and non-existence. And that thing always existed. I know it's a trippy mind twist, but in knowing that something always existed and it caused everything, and its perception and its will is being done, what does that mean for us? Well, that means that we're all going to return to source. From the source we came and the source we would return.
yeah, and
And
all energy
God,
must go to a light source.
and I give you another example of empty
You know,
space, what I mean by empty space. All right, there is no such thing as nothingness as far as we're concerned because we're not that creature beyond. But no matter how small you zoom in on an item and think it can get no smaller, what happens when you zoom in some more? You get a lot of empty space. And then you zoom in on an atom You get a lot of empty space. You zoom in on a cork, you get a lot of empty space. So no matter how small we can zoom in, we keep seeing this empty space. And no matter how far in space we go, we see more empty space. And that's what I mean by the creator is within the empty space. Because even within your body, there's infinite empty space. And this is where they
Mm-hmm.
get into the idea of antimatter. What's holding this space together? You know? But I would say that empty
Oh yeah,
space, that
dark
thing,
matter.
that dark matter and empty space, exactly. So empty space is conscious.
See,
No one
see
thinks
how I
of
see
empty
it.
space as being conscious.
See, like I look at it like basically how the Bible explains it. You got the waters above and the waters below, right? So these waters above are the primordial waters, and being that
Ethers.
it's waters above, we literally at the bottom. What we call in the top up there is literally the bottom of an ocean. You know what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
abyss to the infinite ocean. You know, and then we have that same structure, down here in this realm. And right now we're on the top of it, but there's abyss to it, you know. So it's always a type of thing, And right now, of course, we go to the middle, but or basically we the gods of this realm. But will we truly ascend that high? Will we float or swim that you know greater length on the next round,
You just made me think of
or is it really
Ayatul
the
Kursi
abyss?
from Islam. In Islam, God's throne, it's above the highest heaven, seven heavens, and it says the size of the first
Yep.
heaven is like throwing a wedding ring into the desert. That's how big the first heaven is to earth. And then the size of the second heaven is like throwing a wedding ring in the desert. That's how big the second heaven is to the first heaven. And so on and so forth to the top
Mm-hmm.
heaven. And the above that
Wow.
is the waters. All of this is still underwater. You feel me? And above the
Yeah. Exactly.
highest heaven is God's throne. And God's throne above the highest heaven sits on top of water. And ironically,
Exactly. See that?
yeah, God's throne and above the highest heaven, above everything, is sitting on top of water, floating on water. And then the
Yeah.
devil, it says in Islamically, the devil on earth, the devil and the jinn were given the oceans and the seas of the earth as their realm initially. And
Mm-hmm.
the devil set up his throne on top of the waters. And the devil set up his throne on top of the waters where the salt water meet fresh water. Islamic hadith.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Exactly.
devil set his throne on top of water on earth because he knows that the creator set his throne on top of the waters above the heavens above in XYZ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So above and below both represent what God to, huh? Or should I say the
So
planet?
the,
Since we're saying above, right? That was
hmm
the planet Neptune, a big player in this, in this game of thrones. And I ain't gonna lie,
And
I always kind of left Neptune out of the equation. I always kind of looked at Saturn and Jupiter,
remember earlier when I
you know.
brung up that, hey, fire is lighter than air? There's certain fire lighter than air. Well, another correlation
Or,
with Islam is
oh no,
in
no,
the
no. You said
afterlife,
fire lighter? Yeah.
lighter than air. Fire is lighter than air.
Yeah, that's
And
up.
in Islam, it says on the way to heaven, No, you have to pass hell to get to heaven. So when you're going up, 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 you still got somehow is gonna pass hell in order to get to heaven when you rising. So somewhere above us, there's fire, according to Islam.
Yeah.
And it's called the bridge. You know, we're gonna have a bridge to let us go
Uh-huh.
over hell so we can get into heaven.
Yeah, that's that ring of
But
fire
we're
you spoke of.
yeah, with this ring of fire that must be above the ether somewhere.
You know, the scientists call it the Van Allen radiation.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
say it's
this,
so much radiation and a vibration that we won't be able to penetrate it.
yeah, exactly. So, like when you say about seven heavens, essentially there's 10 levels of heaven because Sheol, earth, and the air are considered the first three levels. Right?
Well,
Sheol
Islamically,
is the
seven is seven heavens and seven earths and seven hells. Seven is just one of them holy numbers, I guess. But yeah, seven heavens, seven
yeah. I mean,
earths, seven
a
hells.
lot of people don't consider a lot of people don't consider Sheol, earth, or the air as heaven. Heaven doesn't truly begin till the moon. The moon is the fourth level of heaven, or considered the first of those seven. You know, and that's why they'll even say that certain people can't ascend, and I don't want to say the type of people because I know how TikTok is, but certain people can't ascend no higher than the moon. You know, so that's the first level of heaven in most cultures, but it's also considered the fourth level because they say heaven doesn't truly begin till the moon, till you pass the firmament.
I'm stuck
And
on a
then
new
like
theory of the moon is the soul trapper. When it's a theory that says that the moon was put there by aliens to harvest souls. So when we die,
they be saying all
instead
kind
of
of
us,
crazy stuff.
huh?
They be saying all kind of crazy stuff. But
Yeah, but it's
the
saying
dope.
instead of us dying and going to the next level where we supposed to go and ascending, the moon traps our spirit, erases our memory, and make us reborn on Earth. And we've been stuck getting reborn on Earth ever since
Yeah,
the moon was there,
yeah,
and
I was
that the
saying about that
moon
first
wasn't
level. What's this?
in
That
the whole.
first level or that fourth level of heaven, right? Which is the moon would be considered the duat. The duat is where all the souls congregate and not necessarily are allowed to go to heaven, like to go any further, because they probably have the was done to the bodies or whatever. But this congregation that people, can go, but may not go further than that moon. So, and like I mean about that, the duet where people do get reincarnated. People literally get reincarnated at the duet. If they so, don't way up against the feather truth. And also, if you don't have the certain rites or rituals done to you, like the opening of the mouth ceremony. Like we have to have these rituals done to our,
You know what else?
deceased bodies.
I'm just imagining all types of stuff about the moon now. Because I was watching that black brother, I don't know his name. He be on one of the science channels or something. But he was saying that the moon, that it was a planet called Tiamat. Tiamat was hit by an asteroid and blew up. When it blew up, it made the asteroid belt, it made planet Earth, and it made the moon. Have you
Mhm.
ever heard of that one
Yeah,
before?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, that's they'll get the planet key and all that we talk about, but it was Tiamat. You
Tiamat,
know,
yeah.
you know, yeah, yeah. This is a story to honor. So Tiamat, literally, this way you get Nibiru and everything. When we talk Christ coming back and all of that, we talk. Nibiru. Nibiru passes by galaxy every 3,200, every 3,600 years, and this is astrological event and fact, right? And
Mhm.
and we all, being like basically they were too sophisticated of a of a world basically. So these people knew that this Nibiru was gonna do a crossing, and they felt like it would throw off their the oceans, tides, and all kind of stuff. It might just really disrupt planet, because they swear they know so much, right? So Nibiru on the crossing, Nibiru was also an emerald planet. But what I'm getting at is when you cross these highly advanced people on Tiamat had devised a plan and had a weapon of mass destruction that they planned on using on Nibiru to blow it to smithereens. You feel me? So as Nibiru was crossing, they shot this humongous weapon, most powerful weapon ever created. They shot it at Nibiru, and like I said, this is the Emerald Planet. So it literally reflected the light back to Tiamat and blew it up in this fucking smithereen. And that made Mars, that made Earth, the moon, they say the moon, and the asteroid belt. Yeah, that's what he mean by the Big Bang. The Big Bang was when we tried to blow up Nibiru, and all that hate was reflected back on us, and we got blew up. It's also the Superman story, because the Superman story represents us. Superman is Kal-El. Kal means black. That's where we get Kelly or Kali, but Kal means black. Kal-El, the son of Jor-El, and just know these Superman's people supposed to be basically they were average Joes on their planet because they didn't have strong. Their son wasn't very strong, but on this planet, he's a Superman because he gets this star or this sun right, so he literally get more power because the sun, and they're considered Supermen. He's not a Superman, but they were literally different planet Krypton, huh? So they average as hell on that planet, but they got to get to a stronger light.
Look,
this light makes him Superman. He literally gets his energy from the sun. He can't be anything less than a Moor. So the whole story about Tiamat being blown up and it being such an emergency that
you see
the seed of man had the seed of man had been placed in the dolphin.
You see the name of it?
That's why dolphin comes from the word Delphinus. Yeah.
That's that House
of El. Dolphin comes from the word Delphinus.
House of El, number one.
Delphinus. Yeah, House of El. Yeah, you own it. You own it. What's this?
Even though it's a comic, I couldn't believe that they went
there. And they got a pyramid on there. Why do you think it's a pyramid?
Look, you ain't peeping. The whole red, gold, and blue, the background, the House of El.
Come on, red represents the Moors.
And like you said, green, the Emerald Treaties and the Emerald Planet. Look.
Bro, watch this. Watch this. What is this symbol on
you peep game
on chest?
You peep L?
Huh?
You see the
L? I'm saying what's the symbol on his chest?
The symbol on their chest?
Brother. I say what's the symbol on Superman's chest?
The Kundalini snake or hope. I don't know.
Look, that's a diamond. That's on the chest.
Yeah.
Superman.
Truth in that.
Right? With an S in it, like you said. But what is the diamond represents what? The diamond is pure carbon. We are pure carbon beings. Huh? We are not carbon based. They are. We are pure carbon. Superman has a diamond on his chest because he is pure carbon. His name is Kal-El because he's a carbonated being. He's a melanated man. He
Just
gets
like
his
you were saying
power
about.
literally. Look at the light behind him. Look at the light behind him. What you think that is? That's the sun. He literally gets his power from the sun. You see the corona around him. You see what
Yeah, they went there with this one. And like I said, I caught the first
yeah, like I
edition,
was
so
saying.
I keep
And
this
watch this.
one safe.
The word dolphin. The word dolphin from Delphinus meaning a fish with a womb. It literally means a fish with a womb. Fish lay eggs. A dolphin literally has a womb. A dolphin and a whale are the same. They both come from the Cetus family.
And I think
Cetus. Like this. There's even a constellation, Cetus. You can pull that for pull
Jorel,
up Cetus. Hey,
Jorel,
pull up the
which
word
might be
Cetus,
like yo,
Cetus.
Jorel might be like Yoel means the voice of God, I believe.
Mm.
So so yeah,
I know.
that's the voice of
Put it
God, the
like this.
Superman
Put it like
father.
this. I know Jor. Put it like this. Jor, we know that letter J. You know that J don't belong. So we're gonna put the letter Y, right? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously that would be where we get words like York, like New York. But this
Or
is obviously
Yoel.
The old York, you know, the old York or the York God. Yeah. Hey, pull up the word cetus form, Cetus, in like
On
a regular
what
good dictionary.
regular? Let's go this.
Yeah. Yep. See, whales and dolphins are both a part of the cetus family, so they're the same. And like I say, a dolphin means a fish with a womb. If you look up the embryo of a dolphin for the first 3 months, it looks identical to a human. It look identical to the dolphin, except the
So does a
skull
pig
is a little
actually,
larger.
but yeah. You said I'm looking up what? Cetus?
Yeah, C
All
E
right,
T
I
U
got
S.
it. Cetus. A girdle belt. A girdle belt. In Greek or Roman mythology, the girdle of Venus, or a marriage girdle, which gave whoever wore it power to excite love.
Not C. You looking at CE?
It was more. That was the first one of three. But let me continue because my phone blurring. It don't want to show.
You
Cetus
don't
to
want to show.
sing, plural cetus to strike beat, kind of leather. Mm. Which
Sometimes you got to
definition of
touch the
cetus?
screen. Sometimes you got to touch the screen. It'll focus in, like taking a picture.
All right, you
On
see.
slow to it. Yeah, we see it now though. I just don't see
Hold on,
where the
let's
seat is
test
at.
this. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I was on cestus. Give me a sec. CT. No, I don't have cetus in here. CETU. Yep, there you go. Found it. An
See,
equatorial constellation south of Pisces and Aries.
yeah, it's a constellation also, meaning a whale constellation. You see, it's a whale right there. You see, literally,
Yep, the
or in
whale.
Latin, the whale.
Latin, the whale. Yeah.
That's the first thing. Yeah,
Latin,
yeah.
the whale.
So a dolphin as well as a whale are both a part of the Cetus family, right? Even when the dolphin was a land dweller, it was called the Pachycetus. You know, Paki meaning like Pakistan because they found the bones in that area. And actually, Pakistan is where the largest body of water was during Pangea.
Okay. I haven't seen a proper depiction of Pangea yet.
Yeah, you know, Gondwana at the bottom, and what's the name of the top half? The top half of I don't know why I can't remember right this second, but I know the bottom half. Yeah, that ocean where Pakistan was the largest body of water was called the Tethys Sea. Like, pull up Tethys in that dictionary. Tethys.
I'm on it. Tethys.
Yeah, Tethys Sea is the largest body of water in Pangaea.
I found it.
You know.
Tethys, daughter of Uranus, wife of Oceanus, the mother of the Oceanides, a genus of large marine mollusks. Same
Obviously, that's why
ballpark.
they connected with ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's highly connected with ocean, exactly. Yeah, see if
Yeah.
I can scoop this in for you.
Well, see if you can find Gondwana.
You see, in Greek mythology, wife of Oceanus, the mother of the Oceanides, and then it's a large marine mollusks or something. You saying look up what else?
Gondwana, Gond, Wana, Wana, Gond, Gondwana.
Gond.
Yeah.
And what's the rest of that?
Wana.
Gondw. Okay, I can go down. Gunnar. No, I don't have it.
You know, just like it's almost like the word. You feel me? But it's Gondwana, which is the lower half of Pangea, which would have been like, South
I'm going
America
to
and
my older
Africa
one.
connect.
See if they got it in this boy.
Matter of fact, see if they got it with Gand. Should have been Go, but they might have put it. If it's in there, it could be Gan, which would make sense too, because that means like garden. Gan means garden, so that would have been the most fertile part of Pangea. And if you don't see Gondwana, just look up Gan, see if they have Gan, even if they don't have Gondwana. You could just look up
I got
Gan.
GAN, a
It probably give
contraction
you a
of
whole bunch of stuff.
vegan.
It's really like where you get the word organ and organic. You know, a garden. Because
Eden
the Garden
Green.
of Eden was literally called the Gan. You see Gondwana?
That's what I'm scanning for now, but nope, no Gondwana.
Yeah.
Goes from C
Gond.
into
Let me see. Like stuff like how we call the Atlantic Ocean, but it was of course it was before that it was called the Ethiopic or the Ethiopian Ocean.
yeah, it
You
was
know,
definitely called
so
the Ethiopic Ocean. I'm aware of that.
other people
Gondwana, I'm
like
not aware of.
like 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 like, like Atlantis, but it was probably Ethiopia. You know what I mean? It would probably been Ethiopius or Ethiopius. It wouldn't have been Atlantis because there was no Atlantic Ocean. It was the Ethiopian Ocean. Or should I say, you know?
Nope.
Like, like even when you see
Gondolier.
a word like ocean, it's just it's like a conundrum of the word sea, SEA. That's why you have the CEA in ocean. You know, O just trying to make it like a certain body of water. But then you got this the C right there, just like SEA. You got the CEA saying C. So it's the O, C, the ocean. But it's really the seven seas. So there's not no seven oceans. It's the seven seas. So all of these oceans are just seas. You feel me? So the word ocean is a conundrum of that.
That's going to be the next thing I do. I'm going to go back and look at the meanings of these letters in my
Oh yeah.
1828 dictionary. Each letter got like a page long definition and explanation and backdrop to it.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. But I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the first thing on every page, on every dictionary. Every letter. I
Yeah.
mean,
And
and it's
I mean,
always
it's
long.
ridiculous long and it's 1828. It got scientific long in the 1970s, but in this
Like if I was
1828,
you,
it
if
was
I was
full.
you, I'd just do it in a month because I do one every day. I wouldn't do.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. Like you can't. Nobody ain't gonna be able to digest reading all of that in one day. You know.
it's overload.
Eh,
Got to do like one letter
yeah.
a day, like you said,
Yep.
one
Yep.
letter a week even. Look,
Yeah. Hey, man, keep going over it. Like, hey, woo, that was
yeah,
hard. That was tough. You know.
peep game. Well, first, coming from the four languages, the alphabets that they give you: Hebrew, Samaritan, Arabic, Syriac, and Ethiopic. They give
Hmm.
you one, two, three, four, five different writing systems. Six. It's deep. It's
Hmm.
not in our new dictionaries. And then look, check it out. The letter A. This entire page is just on the letter A.
Exactly.
And we get all the way. It's not until here we get our first word, A-A-M, which is
Hmm.
actually a Hebrew word. Who would have knew? A cubit, a measure containing 5 or 6 palms. But yeah, the definition for the letter A is an entire page long. You don't understand the knowledge in this, and every letter it kicks off like that. It gives you the backdrop on it. Oh, A is the first sound that a baby utters. Ma is the second word. That's why and ma is words for mother,
Look,
and
the
abba
ancient
is
Kemetic,
words for father.
yeah, the ancient Kemetic word for mother is ma, M-A. You know, and in ancient Hebrew or ancient Aramaic, ma, M-A means water. Huh? So that was the word for water. They call it
Yeah,
ma.
Maya is technically in present day Arabic. It's
Yeah,
Maya.
yeah, even Maya means water. Yeah, 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 because of the
Check it out.
M8.
For the letter B, all of this is the definition for the
All of
letter
that
B.
proves that they're Moors. People hard headed.
And it's telling you the Greek B always pronounced like the English V. So B and V
Yeah.
is interchangeable. B is the second letter in the first articulation or consonant in the English as the Hebrew, the Greek, the Latin, and other alphabets. In the Ethiopic, it is the ninth letter, and it is the shape of that of a hut. Perhaps from this or other like figures, it received its Hebrew name Beth, a house. Who knows that? Who knows that B represents Beth, represents a house?
Shoot, I know because of ancient Hebrew.
Oh, you study the words, but the average American, no, we don't know this. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like that.
So
It
yeah,
is
now we can connect. We we can connect our English alphabet with A, B, C. We know the C and the T is interchangeable. We know the B and the V is interchangeable. A leaf, meaning a single figure, or in the other languages, a head, a bull's head. Be, ba, or B, representing the house. A, B together. Ab, meaning father, head of the house. Abba, father. Abba, Baba. You know, it's all interconnected.
Yep. So,
But everyone thinks that English, even in this book, English is Germanized. It's a Germanic language now. No, English was just Germanized. The original English was Phoenician.
mhm.
Original
English.
English was Greek, was Arabic, was Aramaic, Hebrew, Phoenician. You dig?
Mhm. Look, it's, essentially it's Latin. We know Latin is Spanish. So Latin is really Moorish Latin, right?
Spanish
And
is Moorish
that's
Latin.
why no. Spanish is Spanish.
No,
Latin,
Spanish is Moorish Latin to
like
me.
yeah, I know what you're saying, but people who speak Spanish, they don't understand Latin. You know what I mean? It's new to them. They wouldn't know. So it's all like I say, the English is taken from Latin, and then like you say, it's Germanized. You feel me? But the basis of it is coming from Latin. That's why even the word trans Latin, when you're translating, you have the word Latin right in there for that reason. Even the word latio means Latin. So translatio, translating, translatin, it's all coming from the word Latin. So this is where they get, their understanding from. They get it from Latin, from translatin. Trans means with, you know, from their understanding with Latin, literally. You with, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I'm making sure I ain't looking on right now. I'm like, hold up. They might kick me off.
You never know when you get booted.
Yeah, man. Until it's too late.
But yeah, it's been a nice build, nice build. You know, have me pay attention to these words more. Like I said, I'm gonna start with these letters. I gotta start all over. And I'm not even gonna be lazy with it. I think I'm about to write this one out. I'm gonna go A through Z, man. I'm gonna take a couple of hours and I'm gonna go A through Z. I gotta throw that in my brain.
Yeah, like this been fire. Like we, hey, I don't know, man. Another pandemic to get a couple more of you out here, man.
Now we multiplying down here. Everybody getting their libraries together and starting to, rattle them brains.
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna lie, I'm glad a lot of y'all woke up, man. It's much needed, man. It's only out here, man, with this knowledge, man, it's gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, hey, what
Imagine
about?
what it is
I'm
for
sure
us.
you going through that right now. People call you crazy.
I sound like the man to everybody pretty much. I'm just used to it. But I'm a skeptic. I investigate everything. I want to verify everything. If I don't verify it, I don't fully vouch for it,
Then I don't know. That's real.
It's like I'm aware of it. I heard of it. It's possible, plausible, but I don't know. I'll tell a person in a heartbeat. I haven't verified that.
Yeah.
I can neither confirm or deny.
Hey, I deal with logic, man. I love some logic.
You hear me say, I
You know,
think
like,
or I believe in a heartbeat on them things.
yeah. See,
But
that's
on
why I
other
can't deal
things,
with that pseudo shit like that, because pseudo is not logical. Pseudo is against logic. If it's not logical, it's illogical.
I can run with that. But yeah, you gotta verify everything. You gotta
Like they
get
say,
understanding.
you know, in the Bible, it say in the beginning, in the beginning word, it say in the beginning was the logos. Logos is we get word logic, right? That's what logos means.
In all actuality, in the Hebrew, it says in a beginning. I know it sounds crazy, but that one word mistranslation kind of changes the whole idea, right? It doesn't say in the beginning, it says in a beginning. That's deep. But then, yeah, in the actual Hebrew, it don't say in the beginning. That's
I mean,
Mr.
it says
Testament
beariship.
add in.
You know, beariship. It says beariship, and beariship means, it's translated as in the beginning. But beariship
But
is the actual name for what we call Genesis and everything. We say Genesis, but it's
yeah,
really
but
beariship.
we keep throwing the preposition the in there. Bereshit. It's a word for the. It would have been there. It's Bereshit is beginning or a beginning, not
Mm-hmm.
the beginning. The beginning
Yeah,
was
but you
like
know,
it was just dope. You
that's
knew
what
the
I'm
word.
saying.
Yeah, you just remember. Hey, you're right. It's Bereshit, but that's
Yeah.
beginning.
Yep.
That's not the beginning. That's beginning or a beginning.
So,
Because you were here in the beginning, and then it says, God hovered above the waters. Wait a minute. If it's the beginning, where did the water come from?
exactly. Hey. That's what I was saying about you. Feel me?
Like, that's obviously not the
Everything.
beginning. 'Cause it's already stuff happening.
You know what I mean?
Stuff is already existing. There's already a witness. So that's why learning the language. I tell all the brothers, if you into scriptures, learn that Hebrew. If you in that Quran, learn that Arabic. Don't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good to learn another language. Guess what? If you just ain't into nothing, just at least learn some Latin. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shit, learn some Spanish.
dealing with law, you got to.
You need to. You need to.
The whole legalese is all Latin, basically.
Nothing else. Nothing else.
So yeah, you're dealing with law, you finna learn Latin.
That's
You're
why we
dealing with
talking
that
about
Quran,
de
you're about to learn
facto,
Arabic.
and that's why we talking about de facto and de jure. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we're
Impropria
dealing with Latin right now.
persona.
Straight Latin. Impropria persona. You know what I mean? Straight.
Pro se, speak for myself. So yeah, all of this is Latin. I'm going back to if you're talking about law and you don't know Latin, you don't know law. If you're talking about the Quran and you don't know Arabic, you don't know the Quran. If you're talking about scriptures but you don't know Hebrew or Ge'ez, you don't know scripture. You know what someone told you about it.
I will- we talk- man knows not being told.
Exactly.
Real.
Somebody told me it meant this and I believed it. And then I ran across information which contradicts it. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
obviously, I should have just been investigating on my own instead of listening. And I'm saying that coming from the Sunni perspective. Like when they'll tell you, Alhamdulillah means praise and thanks. But in the actual Arabic, that's the triliteral root, ha, meen, and da, which that triliteral root means in Arabic, an emotion that would express praise, gratitude, and thanks all at the same time. But we don't have the one word in English to describe that. You feel me?
Hmm.
So some translators say praise, some translators say thanks, but in all actuality, both them translations are incomplete.
Hmm.
But you would need to know the language to know that, you know?
Hmm.
And I put up a post not long ago, and the post was I guess he was one of the sovereign nationalist guys, and he was saying, pay attention to words, the meaning of words,
Hmm.
get yourself a dictionary, get you a lot of dictionaries, get you a Black's Law. And he said, and even when you're reading the words in a dictionary, don't for a second think that's what the word means. These are just the general consensus to the meaning of a word in these dictionaries and not quite the meaning themselves. And I get that
Hmm.
now. If I would have read just one dictionary, I would have thought that was the meaning of the word. But reading the same word in multiple dictionaries, especially over multiple times, you can see like the meaning of the word is kind of speculation in half of them. And each is referring
Yep.
to the
Yep.
dictionary before. And you get a lot of unknown origin or, of unknown origin, which is a load of crap now that I know. Most of the words where they say it's unknown origin, they know exactly what the origin is. They just don't want to say it.
Yep. And they don't want to they don't how dark is the origin. Huh?
Exactly. So they want to cover it up. But when you know the meanings of letters like A, B, C, D, J, K, M, N, O, P, when you know the meanings of each individual letter and you take away the vowels from every word and just use the consonants, you know the true meanings of words behind that.
Hmm. Yep.
Like
What?
it's kind of like
That's why they call them consonants. That's why we call them consonants because they're the only thing that stays constant about a word. That's what they
yeah,
say the vowels are interchangeable. Even some consonants are interchangeable. It still is called a
right. Like
constant because they know it's constant.
and these interchangeable letters, this will just make the letter systems different. But the B and the V, the T and the whatever, a lot of these letters are interchangeable. The R and the L maybe. So yeah, a lot of constants are interchangeable.
Yep.
The G and the something else. I think I'm gonna do a letter study. It's like by breaking down the phonetics of English, it's like 30% of a lot of languages.
Hmm.
And in our case, it'll give us a better grip on the Arabic, the Hebrew, the Greek. And we can bypass the Germanized corruptions. Makes me think of the story of Babel. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
Okay, it's got silent. Well, you see.
Yeah, I'm over here stuffing my face.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get off here. Been on long enough. See what's going on in the world.
Hey, bro, you already know. Shit, we both suspect. So
Yeah, I got a week.
let's take it. Yo, I'm gonna do it like this again, real.
Yeah, most def. I ain't like I said, I didn't know
So,
I can do this. I know now I know, even though I'm suspended or live banned, I can still pop on like this.
hmm hmm exactly. So you already know. Shoot, I'm gonna hit you up though. You know what I'm saying? So just in case they ban us, we'll be able to still link up one way or another. You know what I mean?
Bet.
For sure.
Till
Get up
next
out of here,
time,
y'all.
fam. Peace.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the brother Yusuf. I mean, follow him. That's for sure.
That screen. I appreciate all the kings and queens. Appreciate y'all. Let me see. Let me see what we have here. Okay. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for sure rocking with us. Until next time. Peace.